Hello, everyone. I'm Steve Feldman. I'm the president of the Human Animal Bond Research Institute. I'm so pleased to be participating in Global Pet Expo Digital Access, and thank you for taking the time to watch today. Hopefully, we'll make this worth your while. First thing I want to do is thank the American Pet Products Association and the Pet Industry Distributors Association. We have a long-standing strategic partnership, and we've always had the privilege of being part of Global Pet Expo. And that's why we're so happy to participate in digital access. They are real leaders on the human-animal bond. We have an alignment of mission, and so it's a great partnership. And it also represents all of you, the members of APPA and PIDA, as you participate today. So what is the human-animal bond? It's always good to start with the definition, and this one is from the American Veterinary Medical Association. It's this mutually beneficial, dynamic relationship between pets and people, and it's important to both of us, to the health and well-being of the people and the pets. It's a two-way street. In fact, the National Institutes of Health said that the human-animal bond and pets were so important that no future study of human health should be complete unless we took into account the presence or absence of pets in our homes. So that's how important pets are. They're so important to our health, and that's really why HABRI exists. Our vision is that the human-animal bond is universally accepted as an essential element of human health. I always say, you eat your vegetables because you know it's good for you. You work out or go for a walk or go to the gym because you know it's good for you. And you should have a pet because you know it's good for you. And we have science to back that up. And that's our mission, to use both science, education, and advocacy to really show society the benefits of having pets for the health and well-being of people, their families, and entire communities. Here are some of this is my chance to brag a little bit about HABRI. We've created the world's largest resource library on human-animal interaction, thanks to donations from companies like yours. We've actually funded $3 million in research, and we're taking on the benefits of pets for children with autism, for veterans with PTSD, and big issues that are important to us all, like how medicine is practiced and reducing obesity and improving heart disease. We're starting to get some traction. We're being recognized by NIH, by the Centers for Disease Control, by Congress. And we're out there for a little organization to have 250,000 highly engaged social media followers. It's pretty good. And that's because this content, this idea that pets are good for us, is just so universally important and accepted. So some of the highlights of the research projects that we funded include probably one of the most important studies on the benefits of service dogs for veterans with PTSD. We funded one of the major studies on canines and childhood cancer, but we looked at the welfare of the dogs too. As we put dogs and other animals in these therapeutic situations, we need to make sure that they're okay. And we found out they were okay when we did this with them. And that's, animal welfare and care is so important. And, in partnership with Pets in the Classroom, very important program, also part of Global Pet Expo Digital Access, we funded the largest study looking at the benefits of pets in the classroom and how they help child development and learning. So we're really proud of our work. Now, there's a lot of work out there, and I thought I'd just give you a couple of really important greatest hits. One is that pets are good for our hearts. And by the way, it's not just dog walking that gets you better exercise. Even a cat in your lap will help you better recover from trauma or heart attack. And we actually have scientific studies to show that. So important to know that pets are good for everyone's physical health and, of course, for our mental health. We have actual partnerships with these two organizations to try and get the word out there. But we should be thinking of pets as important to the management of long-term mental health conditions. And most people who have pets, and this, by the way, is a pre-pandemic statistic that 3/4 of pet owners say pets are important to my mental health. I think that the APPA COVID Pulse survey and other post-pandemic surveys will show that even more people are now understanding how important pets are to our mental health. And, Sweden is unique. They have a national dog registry and a national healthcare registry. And so looking at the health of dog owners over a long period of time, this study was able to show that dog ownership is associated with longer life. And this is especially true for people who live alone. So again, we're really starting to be able to say that dogs help us live longer, healthier lives, and it's backed by science. And again, what I would say is that what we're finding from surveys done during the pandemic is that more and more people recognize the health benefits of the pets in their lives. And this is good for all of us. Pets are having their moment during the pandemic. And that's why people who make pet products and help get those out to pet owners are so important, especially during these troubling times. We've also taken on public policy, and one of the things we're really proud of is that we've rallied a whole coalition of HABRI supporters to pass the Pet and Women's Safety Act. So few domestic violence shelters actually let people take their pets with them when they're fleeing a bad situation. And so we were able to get this bill passed, and this year there's going to be $2.5 million available in grants to help domestic violence shelters become pet friendly. And that's all on you. This really shows how the pet care community, the participants in Global Pet Expo Digital Access, help make this happen. We're making society safer for pets and people, and this is a very concrete way that we've done that. This Congress, we're really going to be working on passing the Puppies Assisting Wounded Service Members Act. This will provide money to actually pay for service dogs for veterans with PTSD. I think you might be surprised and maybe a little disappointed that we're not doing that already, but that's me testifying a couple of years back, and we brought service dogs and veterans to Congress, and we're going to try and get this passed this year or next year at the latest, but we really want to try and make sure that we're taking care of our veterans. And we know service dogs from our research can be so tremendously helpful. And I also want to invite you to participate in Virtual Pet Week on Capitol Hill. Last year we went virtual and we expanded our Pet Night on Capitol Hill to Pet Week. It's this tremendously popular congressional event, and we adapted, just like so many of you, to a virtual environment, and we had record attendance. We had thousands of people tuning in to Pet Week on Capitol Hill, and we partnered with the pet care community really to deliver the message that pets are essential to our health, especially during the pandemic, but at any time in our lives. So this year, in October, we're going to run Pet Week on Capitol Hill again. We're planning for virtual, but we're keeping our fingers crossed that we might even be able to go back to Capitol Hill and to bring therapy dogs and to bring many of you to Washington to talk to your members of Congress about how important pets are in our lives and how we should support policies to make pet ownership easier and more prevalent in society. And when you talk about knowledge of the human-animal bond, it's really something that we know something about now, which is that when you ask pet owners what they know about it and how this will change their behavior, some really interesting things happen. So we did this survey and we said, if you knew more about the science of the human-animal bond, how would that change your behavior? And first of all, people were more likely to get pets and recommend them to friends and family members. Especially millennials said they'd get a second or a third pet if they knew more about why their pets were good for them. So this says really that you should be sharing this information and that we can bend the curve and really help increase pet ownership. Pet ownership has been going up partly because of the pandemic and partly because people are recognizing how good pets are for them. And as well, people will spend more money on their pets. They'll take better care of them. They'll buy higher quality nutrition. They're more likely to microchip, and they're less likely to give up their pets for any reason. So we can increase pet ownership and spending just by sharing more information about the human-animal bond. And so we're making the case, really. We're thinking about pets as prescription, that pets are good for human health, that they will encourage more pet ownership and better animal care, and lead to a more pet-friendly society. And for everybody participating in Global Pet Expo, more pet spending. And that's why it's such a strategic, it's not only good work that we're doing, it's a strategic partnership in the future of the pet care community and all of the things that you do to keep our pets happy and healthy. So you are the trusted messengers on the human animal bond, and you can use this to support your business goals. So understand the current and emerging science on the human animal bond. You can get, of course, all of that from HABRI.org, and share that and share those best practices about how pets are important in society, and then infuse the human animal bond. The best way we can consolidate the gains for the pet industry that we made during the pandemic is to continue to talk about how pets are important to our health, to continue to infuse the human animal bond into all of the messages. So that's your action list right there. And of course, from our survey, we know that people will actually have a better opinion of companies that participate in this way. So I want to thank everyone who has helped organize Global Pet Expo Digital Access. They've done an amazing job of pivoting to a digital environment, and I'm finding it to be a really rewarding and wonderful experience. I do look forward to seeing you all again in the days ahead when we can get back to something like normal. But in the meantime, I hope you'll stay in touch with HABRI and rely on the resources that we have. Really grateful to the support of everyone in the pet care community for making the human animal bond so important in all of our lives.